Welcome to Cinemagna. In today's video, we will showcase the featurette video of the 2023 American biographical sports drama film titled Ferrari. This film is directed by Michael Mann and written by Troy Kennedy Martin. Based on the 1991 biography Enzo Ferrari, The Man, the Cars, the Races, the Machine, by motorsport journalist Brock Yates. The film follows the personal and professional struggles of Enzo Ferrari, the Italian founder of the car manufacturer Ferrari SPA, during the summer of 1957. Adam Driver portrays the titular subject and co-stars Penélope Cruz, Shailene Woodley, Sarah Gadon, Gabriel, Leone, Jack O'Connell, and Patrick Dempsey. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel to be notified when new videos are released.
I don't like to be an observer looking distantly at something. I want it to engage me and take me there. It's not simply the place, the furniture, the wardrobe, what the streets look like, and all that detail, which is terribly important, but it's also period-accurate attitude, psychology, the absence of psychology.
He is very interested in internal life. Internal life is 90% of all of his notes.
Doing the deep dive and trying to recreate a cultural reality and a psychological reality.
Excuse me, please, my husband isn't here. He's out whoring. Grazie, buongiorno.
What's the stereotypical marriage in bourgeois regional provincial Modena in 1957? What's the authority structure? Because Enzo's irreverent. He disputes authority and makes his own way.
If Anthony is looking for a scapegoat, then here I am.
That's different than somebody exercising free will where there's no authority structure and they don't have something to push against.
When we lose, you're a lynch mob. No.
It's enough to make the Pope weep.
It's the value system. It's all of those things, and that's not work. That's the adventure of it. And I can't imagine any reason to do it any other way. You've generated all of these unresolved things. We don't know how they're going to turn out.
Michael is not only paying attention to our performances, he's paying attention to the way the light is moving in every single take, the way the camera operator is conducting his business, and there's so many different elements at play.
Get some people to walk through. I don't see anybody, it's all too static.
He's a conductor. He's waiting for that perfect symphony to come together.
His focus is, I think, challenging for a lot of people.
Let's go!
Because you have to just be with him and just go on the ride. And just expect the unexpected and be ready to go with it. And I think that's a good artist, is they take what's happening in front of them, very much like what's going on in the car on the track, and you adapt and you make it work for you.
Let's get that camera in. Okay. That's the main shot. For me, director of photography is a casting process.
I think we should try and get the over at the same time.
I wanted a particular kind of active lighting that's apparent in Caravaggio's paintings, where the light seems to enter very dramatically. And it's almost as if accidentally the light is hitting a part of a leg, a hand, slice of light hits a face.
Michael's command of the frame, his use of the frame is such a signature of his, and it's specifically tied to what's happening dramatically in the scene between the characters.
Thank you,
The dramatic scenes have a certain stateliness and uniformity within the color and in the camera movements, and then opposed to that, every time there's a race car. And the race cars are red, vibrant, savage.
When we get in the cars, the camera's handheld, and it's in the passenger seat next to the driver, and you feel the road noise and you feel the dust on your face.
You could easily have made this a movie that's just cars moving fast. But I never feel like in Michael's movies he sacrifices character for any kind of spectacle.
Ready? And roll, please.
Michael gives his actors space and is intelligent enough to not control that. There was a shorthand, there's that respect. when to give them something that will open them up or when to kind of, be invisible.
He's there holding your hand through that process.
He's thought of every angle.
We all know it's our deadly passion, our terrible joy.
A millimeter will change everything for him.
But not to say that he doesn't have his own sense of improvisation himself. He still is making up shots and following impulses.
He is like non-stop for like 16 hours a day, and I know that when he goes home, he keeps writing or editing, and he's a machine.
And cut. It says, French, New Deal.
The first time you see her, she's pointing a gun at him. So you are being introduced a character that maybe she doesn't have so much more to lose because she lost what she loved the most.
Laura, the car broke.
When I read that was the presentation of my character, I had so much fear. I was really having doubts on how we could make that believable.
What's going on in there? Her gentleness, the signora, is trying to shoot il commendatore.
Michael was right, and he said, there is no way I would change that. That is gonna stay, and it's gonna work.
And there you have it.
You knew about her, and you never told me?
He is entitled to an heir.
I gave him one.
As it turns out, one was not enough.
I gave him one! I gave him one! Playing this character is like, okay, who is this new person that I have to really get to understand as deeply as I can? When you end up understanding them, you end up loving them. Of course, you're gonna go through paranoia and doubt and insecurity.
And cut. It says.
But he's there holding your hand through that process. The signing of these affidavits was conditional on the exchange of the check.
I'm sure it was an oversight.
Bullshit.
There's a primitive certainty about Penelope.
Go away, please. Give me a pen.
And an unself-consciousness and a judgmental quality that was absolutely this character. She is locked into a state of grief that's impermeable. She lost her son, Dino, a year ago.
You blame me for his death?
Yes, I blame you. Because you let him die.
The father deluded himself! The great engineer!
Michael told me, you want to come with me to the real apartment where Enzo and Laura lived. And there was something that happened to Michael and I with the wallpaper. Such a strong effect on me, and he saw it, and I said, Michael, did you see, what is this print, these colors?
We copied it, and it seemed to bespeak that woman who was in the inside, who was so vivacious, so spontaneous, so of the moment, the dalla buffa, which just means like a card.
One condition. I want my gun back.
The relationship is this fascinating dichotomy.
I'm gonna give you power of attorney over my stock. For $500,000.
I don't have $500,000.
You will if you make a deal.
Their foreplay is negotiation. And I think that's really telling of who they used to be. He falls in love again for a moment, and then they get to relive it for a second.
I feel it's a combination of the love that is still there, the damage, the pain, but also it's a release for that pain. That encounter that they have in that moment is full of rage and anger about what they lost. And they share that.
You're going broke.
So what do I do?
Win the Mille Miglia, Enzo, or you are out of business.
1,000 miles across bad roads with sheep and dogs, anything can happen.
We have to win the Mille Miglia, then orders for sports cars will follow.
Everyone's eye will be on it. Only one team will win. Make sure it's you.
most famous race in Italy was the Mille Miglia.
I'm entering 5 cars. Collins, Taruffi, Deportago, Van Trips, Jean de Bion.
The Mille Miglia was a 1,000-mile race across open roads, through mountains, through towns, through Ravenna, to the outskirts of Rome, back through Bologna all the way to Brescia in the north where it began.
I've always loved this era in motorsports. It's the most romantic, probably the most tragic and dangerous period. Pre-war up until the 50s and the jet age. Now we're accustomed to seeing big crashes and drivers walking away. In that era, they didn't. And if they made a mistake, it was usually deadly.
This is an era in which the cars, particularly the Ferraris, made a tremendous amount of power. Everything in the Ferraris was cutting edge, but the racing of the period was lethally dangerous. The mortality rate of the spring team from 56 to 58 is about 50%. So what possesses these men in the prime of their life to do something like this?
Make no mistake, all of us are racers, or I have been. We all are certain it will never happen to me.
The answer is belief that it's never going to happen to me.
And my friend is killed. I give up racing forever on Monday. I'm back racing by Sunday.
But the addiction puts you right back in that seat.
We all know it's our deadly passion. Our terrible joy.
It's a meditation, I think, in many ways, because the speed is intense and focus required. You don't really think about anything else. So there's a cleansing process of the mind where you don't listen to all the voices in your head.
There's potential dangers at every single turn.
Okay, go for it!
There's an unknown that could happen at any moment, but how in the midst of someone who's doing something incredibly dangerous do you stay myopically focused on what you're trying to accomplish?
One race, 1,000 miles across open roads, will determine some, not all, of the issues that are colliding in these 3 months of 1957.
If Jesus had lived today and not 2,000 years ago, he would have been not a carpenter, but a craftsman in metal like yourselves. The nature of metal, how it can be forged, shaped, and hammered by your skills into an engine, holding inside a fire to make power, to speed us through the world.
We had to replicate the sports race cars, the 315s and the 335s that we used in the film. You couldn't possibly use the authentic ones. We needed cars to be safe, reliable, and very, very fast.
Yes, Michael Mann asked us to reproduce cars from the Mille Miglia of 1957. We are using the old techniques that makes the car wonderful. But we are at the same time using new technology that can give us more information.
We replicated those cars by doing 3D LiDAR scans of real cars, and then we put the shape together with a tubular chassis, which we designed.
We create two kinds of cars. One is fiberglass cars. The other is metal, because they are going to be crashed, and so they need to be realistic when they crash.
We are having a few of the cars actually made from aluminum body panels, where the guys are hammering out the aluminum in the shapes necessary, hammer welding them together, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, to the point where it's like, we shouldn't even paint these cars, that you can see the craftsmanship.
It's handcrafted. And anything that's handcrafted, I think, has a soul on it. You feel that energy because of all the time and thought and emotion is put into it.
This is much better.
Why?
Oh, and we look at other objects that are designed, 70 years ago. They don't stand the test of time. These are museum objects. They're absolutely stunning and they're gorgeous. And they're not self-conscious art objects. No one is sitting there in Ferrari saying, oh, let's make an art object that moves. It's just the opposite. Enzo Ferrari is saying, I build engines. What's the car you get for free? And they're not designed to look good. They just do look good.
It looks better.
In all life, when a thing works better, usually it is more beautiful to the eye.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released.